I'm Laura.
I'm Troy.
Welcome to Fowl-Mouthed Gardens. Hi guys! I'm working on mucking out the duck house right now. We don't do it too terribly often because they don't mess it up too terribly often since they're outside on pasture most of the day, but thought some people might be interested in seeing the process, and I've already gotten started here, but not a whole lot. I've just did a little bit of scooping, but so basically what we do is take this wheelbarrow back to our compost pile, and to compost, the way we do it, we gather our materials and then mix it all together when we're ready to start our compost pile. So this is just going to go in a pile by itself until it's mixed in with the compost. And actually Troy is working on compost right now, so we'll take a look back there really quick. Let me move this pile. Alright, so as I mentioned before, I think, we separate our piles into material. So this is kind of the browns pile, which is your dead stiff. In this case, coffee filters and old straw. So this will just be kept, you know, where our straws, we'll pile it up, and then when we're ready to make our next compost pile, we'll go ahead and mix those materials. But right now, we actually have a compost pile going, and Troy's in the middle of turning it right now, which needs to be done every so often. So I'm going to ask him some questions about this because he knows way more about the compost than I do. How often do you have to turn this stuff?
Depends on moisture level and temperature.
So in this case, how long has it been since the last turn?
2 weeks, which is probably neglectful.
But we don't really need this stuff until the springtime anyway. Yeah. So by the time we need it, we'll be good. But so can you tell us about the materials that are inside this compost heap?
Well, it's a lot of straw in the duck house, mixed with duck manure. We got used coffee grounds, coffee filters, green matter from the lawn, garden scraps, sticks, leaves, some mulch, old compost, topsoil, all sorts of goodies in there. Mainly it's a lot of carbon, a lot of browns, a lot of straw.
And we have, like I said before, the materials set out to the side before they're mixed, and there's some old grass clippings. And that's it for the compost, I guess. I guess we'll go back to the duck house. Oh, here comes Des with his lawnmower. Alright, and now we're back to the duck house. Honestly, it's really not that bad, but we did have a lot of rain recently, just in this past week, and usually I would spot treat the poopy areas, but I'm just going to do the whole thing because it's, even though it's really not that bad, it's been a little bit, and I know that there was some wetness that got in here from the rain, and I don't want to risk any mold spores forming in here because that'll make our ducks sick, and we want happy, healthy ducks. So I'm going to go ahead and muck it all out now and just change it. Here's our new straw here. It gets really dusty in here, but the other thing I'm going to have to worry about this time around is not crushing any eggs I might have missed, because some of their bedding is really thick in spots, and I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I don't crush anything, but I guess you guys will see if I do or not. So let's get to it. So sweeping this out with my hand is a lot easier than trying to get in there with a shovel and do it. And also at the same time, I have less of a chance of crushing any eggs, so with the shovel. So I'm just going to sweep it out and then pile it all against the wall and pick it up that way. Okay, so that about does it for cleaning out the pen. This is about as clean as we like to get it. I used the broom, as you saw, to knock down some of the cobwebs because they collect in here like crazy, but Supposedly that's a good sign of a healthy barn. I don't know. But in any case, so those are knocked down. Everything's been swept out. There's a few stray feathers, but it's fine. They're not wet or anything, so I'm not worried about it. So now I just have to take the straw that I showed you earlier and we start spreading it. So I like to start in the back corner and fill up the nesting boxes first, and then I'll spread it everywhere. And this is actually, I mean, sweeping out and shoveling out all the used straw takes a while, but this is actually probably the longest part to decompress the straw, because you can see it's all compressed in there. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see how it has to all be fluffed out so it can take up more space, and it's kind of time consuming, but let's start. All right, here we go. It's all lined with new fresh straw. And it smells really nice and fresh in here. Actually, the smell in here before we cleaned didn't smell too bad anyway, but it smells really fresh and is good. So I went ahead and put extra straw in the final nesting box on this end, and same on that end, because they tend to lay in the very last boxes on either end, but also the second ones in. Those seem to be their favorite spots, and they are extra happy and lay more eggs in those places when the straw is a little deeper. So go ahead and do that for them. Even though it looks somewhat nice and even right now, I can guarantee that after they come in here tonight and eat their dinner, they're out here right now on the new pasture. They go in there and eat, or after they come into here and eat their dinner, they're going to go into that shed and start digging through the straw, because they do it every single time and mess it all up. So I'm not too concerned about it being even, because they'll make it how they like it. And here they are today on their new pasture. So you can't have a video on this channel without having a little duck action in there. And they are enjoying this. We just moved them on here yesterday, and we've got a lot of green grass growing in here, and no doubt due to them being on this previously and adding a nutrient to it a few weeks ago. We just did a whole rotation around the house over the past 2 months, and now they're back on this pasture. And even though it is cold and everything, as you can see, is dying off for the winter time, the grass is still growing, so good. Alright, well, thanks for watching me do my farm chore today. Hopefully you like this video. Comment below, like and subscribe, and remember, it's for the birds.